Good morning, everybody. This is Greg Tingle reporting for Media Man Australia, Media Man International, all of the Media Man group. We thought we'd do another video update for you all, since the previous ones in the last few months have been so well received. So everybody, we're on the east coast of Sydney, Australia, between Coogee and Maroubra Beach. Not going to give you quite the exact spot. Some of you already got a bit of an idea where we are. So I hope you're all going well. The world keeps turning, the sun keeps rising up. Is anyone a bit over this thing they called coronavirus yet? We know coronavirus is real, but can we all, or most of us, agree that it's been totally blown out of proportion? It goes back to the COVID strain. Been around for decades. So have numerous diseases. So diseases and health is part of life. But geez, if you're believing all those media reports and the stuff coming out of WHO, World Health Organization, about 3.5 months ago, maybe we'd all be dead by now. Right? We'd be dodging and weaving these green coronaviruses, but most of us are fine. But for anyone that has been affected, condolences. We understand that a lot of it's got to do with your immune system. So, everybody eat well, exercise, take care of yourself. Traditionally, diseases have been spread more in places like hospitals and nursing homes, and even like farms if they were not healthy farms, and so on. So, for example, beach life is usually like quite a healthy lifestyle. So if you're swimming, get the salt water, exercise, be around good people, these things will keep you as strong and healthy as possible. You've got to do the right things. So we thought we'd talk to you about a few different subjects. One of them's perspective. We touched on it in the past. What's your perspective on things? I think we can agree with everything going on in the world, even prior to the last 3 months. If we're in Australia, particularly Sydney, Australia, and for me on the beaches, we're doing really well on a global scale, say in the 1%. Like, this is where people want to be. So we're doing extremely well. We can always argue about or debate, things like of a political nature, government, councils, laws, regulations, etc. Business world, all this sort of stuff. But we've still got it quite well. Being mindful is also related to perspective. So everybody in my line of business that some of you will be familiar with as a sports and media agent, also social change agent, prior to that journalist for 7 years, prior to that 5 years of sales and marketing for Australian subscriber TV, Optus, and also a couple of years at Telstra. It's important to do your research, look at things from different perspectives. I used to say look at it from the point of perspective of being an employee or a worker as being a customer. So have you heard the expression, the customer's always right? Well, maybe in their own mind, they may not technically be right. Of course, you can have good customers and bad customers. That makes us think of, here's a scenario, good media and bad media. Truthful journalism or not totally truthful journalism. Be mindful of what news sources you consume. Thank you everybody for tuning in to the Media Man Group YouTube. We appreciate it. So we will always endeavour to be truthful and balanced. As different individuals, including the President of the United States, says, some things can be considered fake news, but also do we acknowledge one person's real news might be fake news for another, or vice versa. Or if you go political, of course you've got the left, the right, the middle, free thinkers. We've got the arts world, you've got the corporate world. You've got the forces of light, you've got the forces of darkness. So what is true and correct and ethical and honest for some people may not be for others. So the great thing about the internet, which we're broadcasting on at the moment, is that we can look at a range of viewpoints. Be careful when sorting out truth from the facts. What are the facts? When you hear about an expert panel, who are these experts? What are their agendas? What is their message? Have you heard of the expression, when a politician stays on message? That means there's like an agenda, there's a directive, there's a picture that they're trying to paint. So you've got to be mindful of all of that. Just because something appears in the newspaper or on the television, vision, as in they tell you, so what do you listen to, right, or believe? Just because it appears or is broadcast doesn't actually mean it is actually correct or truthful. Sorry to break the news to you, everybody, if you didn't realise it already. There's a lot of bad information floating around in the Australian and global media at the moment. It saddens me to actually say that, but I want to give the people the truth. When I do read truthful, honest, ethical articles from different journalists of mine, I sometimes make contact with them and just to thank them for maintaining their integrity. Shout out to Mike Mooningham, by the way, in South Carolina, award-winning journalist. Truthful, honest, ethical writing. Mike mainly writes about sports, including wrestling, bit of pop culture. So diversity in the news media landscape is very important. Thank you to all the hardworking and ethical journalists and broadcasters and editors and media companies out there. Thank you very much. For all the media companies, everybody, please, just everyone try to lift their game, okay? The stories being talked about coronavirus around Sydney's cafes and hotels and other places are quite different to what the public is being spoon-fed, so to speak, from various newspaper columnists and sections in Australia and around the world. We're not going to name names today. The interesting thing is, with different newspapers, you can get these opinion pieces and then you get regular articles, and they can be telling a different picture depending on what that journalist's or writer's opinion is versus the other article. So there's a reason they're called opinion pieces. But some world matters for a long time, for decades, they get talked about like everything that's written down is actually 100% factual, but sometimes they're more like storytelling. You know the difference between fact and fiction? So everybody, just be really mindful of what you read, what information you take in to your vessel, all right? In all aspects of your life, not just with media or entertainment, with everything. Be mindful of what people you let into your life. It's all pretty complex, isn't it? But everybody, you've got your own independent free will and thinking. Be mindful about your life, about what you believe, about what information you take in. On a deeper level, always do things that make you happy, that you enjoy doing. For us, one of them, got a doggy along the coastal walkway. That's why we changed expressions there. We, just be mindful about everything and enjoy your life. For us, we've got the swimming, the surfing, the beach and surf culture. We do the combat sports, environment. We enjoy our work. Obviously, we get to write and cover different aspects and interview people. So we know we've got one life, at least one life, depending upon your biblical or spiritual beliefs. So there's a lot going on. I wanted to show you a couple of books. We brought a couple down with us. So they've gone. The wind's put them off the edge. It's okay. We're going to do another broadcast in a moment, covering some books, covering surf culture. We've got Surf Rage. We've got biker culture from America, and we've got the story of Diamond Dallas Page. He was a bouncer, became a bodyguard, and then a wrestler, and then he's got a great yoga school. It's about transformation of people and their lives, what you're able to do, the power of the mind when you put your mind to something. So from us, we went from construction worker, truck driver, to pay TV, to running a media company. And we also worked at a couple of the big newspapers in between times as well. Shout out to APN Media, Rural Weekly newspaper, Sydney Morning Herald. We worked in the advertising for about 4 months. It's good to experience different things in life. Transformation. How do you transform yourself over time in your career and your life? All really interesting things. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to do another update on these couple of books very shortly. You've been watching Media Man Australia. Take care.